You're listening to the Cool Audio Podcast, your escape into the world of stories, sounds, and imagination. Whether you're driving, chilling at home, or just need a moment to unplug, we've got a story just for you. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. During midnight, people will have some feelings that they don't have during the daytime. For some reason, Melody was sad when she saw Justin's lonely figure. Spurred by this feeling, she typed out these words. Then, like a nervous child, she clenched her fists and could even hear the pounding of her heart. Was she going to express her love to him? If she did, Justin would be in a difficult situation and she herself would be embarrassed. Hesitating for a long minute, Melody had lots of thoughts racing in her mind. Finally, she deleted the words one by one. She chickened out at the last moment. Yeah, her love for Justin was her secret. She didn't even want Justin to know it. Everyone said Justin loved Chloe selflessly. She was the same and would act like Justin. She'd keep the man in her heart secretly and love him silently without asking him to return the feelings, even though he'd never know about her love for him. However, she'd try her best to guard and protect Justin. A great guy like him shouldn't be mocked. She found the people in this era were despicable. A playboy like Easton kept changing his bed partners, but some young girls still chased after him like idiots. However, a great guy like Justin was tagged as gay or impotent. She just couldn't bear this twisted mindset of some people. Finally, she deleted all the words she had typed and replaced them with a most ordinary message. Boss Cooper, good night. When Justin saw it, he smiled and replied to her with 2 words, good night. In the darkness, Justin had that terrifying dream again. He wasn't a faint-hearted man, but in this dream, he felt terror, extreme terror. Justin, you love her, right? Then let's see. If she's worthy of your love? Haha. A woman's shrill laugh came from midair and entered his ears. A lone, thin figure walked toward him from the fog. Chloe? Justin murmured as he watched Chloe walk toward him step by step. Chloe, don't come. Please, don't come. It's a trap. Justin yelled in his dream with great grief. Then he heard a gunshot from the forest, and Chloe fell to the ground in front of him as a bright red flower bloomed on her chest. Chloe, no. Justin woke up. He touched his eyes and saw tears. President Cooper, what's wrong? And was a light sleeper and ran in immediately when he heard Justin's yell. I'm fine. Justin's voice was weak. Did you have a nightmare again? Yeah. Justin panted heavily, still disturbed by the dream. The same nightmare? And asked cautiously. In the last month, Justin had had the same nightmare 3 times now. In his dream, Chloe died in front of him, which was the scariest thing for Justin. This repeated nightmare plunged him into great pain. President Cooper, maybe. We can find an expert to interpret the dream. I think you've not been yourself lately. And knew Justin would berate him for it, but he still suggested Justin find a master to interpret the dream. Why did the nightmare come to him repeatedly? It was weird. Anne's suggestion made Justin laugh. Forget it. Don't worry about me. It's just a dream. If I consult a so-called master and am seen by the paparazzi, I'll be on the most searched hashtags again. I've had enough of it. And didn't continue the topic as he saw Justin was firmly against the idea. After the nightmare, Justin couldn't sleep. He went to the living room, took out an iced Coke, and turned on the TV to kill time. On the next day, Melody entered the live show for the 3rd time. If she failed, she'd get eliminated. The audience rating was very high because her partner was a popular star with 10 million fans. Justin's team was afraid Melody would fail under great pressure since her foot had just recovered, so they followed Justin's instruction and let the dance teacher talk to Easton's team and give them a dance which was more like a stage play. It was a dance with a story, and dancing wasn't the most important factor. In this way, she didn't need to dance all the time and the tempo wasn't very fast. Easton had acted in many movies and was experienced, but Melody was a beginner and her team was worried that she would be poor at acting. The live show attracted lots of people. Chloe even asked Mark to get her a tablet in Jack's office. She put on the earpiece and watched the live show. Melody didn't let them down. She worked hard and acted her part out naturally. They defeated the other suspended pair and went into the next round with success. On the stage, the hostess asked Melody, What do you want to say to our audience? Melody wasn't beyond excitement like the other beginners. She answered calmly, I don't wish for luck. I only hope. All my hard work will pay off. Thunderous applause came from the audience. When the hostess asked Easton, What do you want to say to our audience? He looked at Melody and said, I want to ask Melody out. His words made everyone laugh, thinking it was a joke. After they went backstage, Easton's fans began to stir trouble. Some of the guy's fans thought Melody entered the next round because of Easton. Now she even used his popularity to hype herself as his girlfriend. They railed against Melody's company for the despicable hyping. Melody's agent stomped her foot in fury. Are these fans blind? Everyone saw that fellow was rejected by you. Now they accused us of using him for hyping. Ridiculous. Calm down. After all, I'm not as popular as him. Melody didn't want to waste her energy on the rumors. She was happy that she had entered the next round and didn't let Justin down. After removing makeup, she walked out but was stopped by Easton. Melody, have dinner with me, okay? No, I must return to the company. Melody declined with a smile and entered the van with her team. Tisk, tisk, little girl, I'll get you into my bed sooner or later. Easton wasn't discouraged. Before the gate of Imperial Star stood a large group of fans. When Melody got out of the van, she was hit by a stinky egg. Seductive batch, shame on you. You used our superstar Easton to hype yourself. Get out of show business, scheming batch. Yeah, scheming batch, get out. Our Easton doesn't want you. Easton's maniac fans surrounded Melody. With complicated feelings, Melody touched the sticky egg liquid and bit on her lip. Before she could speak, a voice came from behind her. BS, you dare to bully our performer in front of the game of my Imperial Star? Do you think I'm a doormat? Justin had just come to the company and saw Melody get bullied in the distance. Melody did not expect Justin to appear at such a timing, but he did. President Cooper! President Cooper! Melody's team all greeted Justin with respect when they noticed him. Her fans, however, weren't as familiar with him, so their reaction was delayed. Justin saw how battered Melody was. Eggs had been thrown onto her. Justin walked over to a girl with an egg in her hand and smashed it on her face. What? The girl was so shocked that she almost cried. Justin didn't stop there. He picked up another egg and smashed it on the girl's head. If someone throws eggs at you, you cry. Why don't you put yourself in your target's shoe when you try to hurt them? Justin nonchalantly lectured. Huh? Who do you think you are? Still, some fans seemed unconvinced. Justin juggled the egg in his hand. The girls were so frightened that they stepped back. I'm the owner of this company. I have an obligation to protect my employees. Go away, you bunch of rascals. If you're not happy with my decision, I'll have to call the police and have you all arrested. You are all very young. How can you act so brainless when chasing after celebrities? Haven't your parents taught you better? Justin lectured them like a senior in life. Melody felt as if a warm gush of air passed through her. When Justin defended her in public, he looked so manly and attractive. The young girls were all frightened by Justin's harsh lecture. They scurried away. Justin took over the tissue from Anne and wiped the egg yolk from Melody's hair. President Cooper, Melody bit her lower lip, looking wronged. Dummy, aren't you strong when you argue with me? Why didn't you fight back with those people when they were throwing eggs at you? Are you stupid? I'm trying to protect the company's reputation, Melody explained. We don't have much of a reputation these years. Remember that we won't pick a fight, but if someone picks a fight with us, I'll punch them so hard that they will throw up their last meal. Justin said another of his profound quotes, and almost laughed out loud. Okay, just remember you said that. Don't put me in the freezer when I get into a heated fight with fans and the press. Melody smiled. Justin looked at her and calmly said, I'll only put you in the freezer under one circumstance, and that is if you lose a fight with your fans. Haha, don't worry. I won't lose. I'm strong. Melody's mood suddenly flipped, and she sounded delighted. Justin was such an unconventional boss that he was probably the only one in the world. Okay, now come with me, Justin waved and asked Melody to follow him. Melody followed him like a little puppy. Her manager and assistant looked at each other. They didn't think Justin and Melody's relationship was so simple. Inside Imperial Star Entertainment's underground parking lot was an orangey-yellow Bugatti Veyron. When Melody saw it, she was dumbfounded. "Boss, what is this? Didn't you say you like small animals? I promised that if you won, I'll buy you one." "Damn, really? Don't scare me? I don't think my heart can handle it." Melody was very shocked. Was Justin kidding? A Bugatti Veyron cost over $2.5 million. "You have a driver's license, right?" Justin asked. Yes. She had the time to get her license. She didn't, however, purchase a car because she did not have that kind of money. That was also why she did not get the opportunity to drive ever since she got her license. She thought if she stayed at Imperial Star Entertainment, she would be able to eventually afford a Corolla. After all, she was a newbie with a low salary. However, Justin gifted her a Bugatti Veyron. This was unbelievable to Melody, as she was just joking when she made the bet with Justin. She had just wanted to talk with Justin a little bit more, but he thought it was a real promise. "Go try it out." Justin threw the car keys up in an arc, and Melody caught it. "Boss, What?" Justin raised a brow and gave her a look from the side. "I'm too scared to accept this," Melody said loudly with a tone of amusement. "Can you be any better, Melody?" "Being poor has limited my imagination. I came from a poor family. I can't accept something so expensive. I think the company can just get me a Buick or Toyota so I can go around." "Shut up. Just get on and drive." Before Melody could respond, Justin pressed the car keys in Melody's hand to start the car. Justin reached for a car door. "What are you standing there for? Get on." I'm scared. What if I crash it? Who's going to pay?" Melody was afraid that if she scratched or crashed such an expensive car, she wouldn't be able to pay for it even if she sold herself. "I'll be beside you. What are you scared of? If you crash, I'll pay for it," Justin said. Then he got onto the front passenger seat. Melody could tell she couldn't get away with this, so she got into the car. With her trembling hands, she switched on the car. "What are you looking at me for? Drive?" Justin's aggressive attitude frightened Melody. She couldn't think too much. The only thing she could do now was start and drive the car. Surprisingly, she was a steady driver. Just like that, the two left the underground parking lot and went around Imperial Star Entertainment. Very soon, they came back to that same underground parking lot. Justin got out of the car and said calmly, "Not bad. The car's yours now." President Cooper, calm down. I was joking. I don't need such an expensive car." "Don't bother. I lost the bet. You got on to the next round, so the car's yours now." "Oh my, the car's too expensive. I can't even afford gas," Melody said. "Gas isn't my problem. My responsibility was just the car. Also, the car's not free. I have a condition," Justin said. Melody thought how cunning capitalists could be. "Other than sleeping with you, I can do anything," Melody teased. Justin glared at her and said, "Sleep with me? You wish—" He said it in such a disgusted tone. Melody laughed so hard that she couldn't stand straight. Sometimes Justin would be as playful as a child. "This car is yours if you sign a 5-year contract with Imperial Star Entertainment. No matter how famous you get in these 5 years, you're Imperial Star's talent. Of course, if you want to jump ship, you can, but you'll need to pay me back the car and $30 million in penalties. How about that?" $30 million? You're joking with me, right? I can't even afford $300. I won't jump. I've decided to stay at Imperial Star till I retire. Melody happily accepted the condition. She had never intended to jump ship. "Okay, then this car is yours to drive. When the contract is up, it'll be fully yours, so I can't transfer the title to you yet." "Not transferring the title would mean that if I hit anyone, it'll be your responsibility?" "You're such a nice person, President Cooper." Melody smirked. "What do you think about all day with that brain of yours?" Justin truly believed that there was a generation gap between Melody and him. She had such a wild imagination. There was no way he could reach her level. After getting off the Bugatti Veyron, Melody said with a smile, "Even though I have this car, I can't be such a show-off. What if some junkie reporter finds out and says that you gave me this car because I'm your mistress? That would just be ridiculous." "Whatever. I gave the car to you," Justin said with his hands in his pocket, acting very cool. "President Cooper, I'll treat you to dinner. You saved me just now at the door. I haven't thanked you for that yet." "It's fine. You're heavily in debt. You shouldn't treat people. Justin looked down at his watch and said, "Let's go to the staff cafeteria. It should still be open." Just like that, Melody followed Justin to Imperial Star Entertainment's staff cafeteria. The line, however, was incredibly long, and the place was packed. When the staff saw Justin, they obediently let out a path for him. "Hello, President Cooper." "Hello, President Cooper." Everyone greeted him. There were even some fawners. Some went so far to voluntarily give up their seats for Justin. Justin brought Melody to the ordering window and randomly chose a lunch set. When they sat down, Melody laughed as she saw how full the cafeteria ladies had filled the great President Cooper's plate. It was rare for the cafeteria ladies to see Justin himself, so they had given him 3 times the normal amount, which was not something one could finish by themselves. Maybe even 3 people couldn't finish it. "Am I pig? How can I finish this?" Justin said in shock. He took out his phone and messages for help. Ann. "What is it, boss?" "Where are you? Get over here." "I'm downstairs. I'm in the cafeteria. Come find me." "Okay." 5 minutes later, Anne came out of the elevator and was now sitting next to Justin. "Here, help me finish this," Justin said. Hey, boss, stop joking with me." Anne was frightened by the mountain of food, too. "I'm not. Get a plate and let's split this. Half-half." Justin didn't like wasting food. This may be because he was in the army before. Even if he couldn't finish, he would call for help so they could finish the food together. Anne was on a diet and wanted to skip this meal. However, his boss had called him over. Now he had to reluctantly eat half of his food. Anne, Justin, and Melody chatted happily while eating. Meanwhile, Yaru and her friends stared with envy. That batch, Melody, stepped up her game. Ever since she entered that reality TV competition, her fan base increased. I heard that she gets thousands for each show now. "Yeah, Rory left. Now there's only Melody. Kinda sad. Yaru, are you willing to let a newbie step all over you?" "Yeah, Yaru. In terms of seniority, you started before her. In terms of looks, you're prettier than Melody. You're our leader. That should have been your opportunity. She didn't deserve it. Look at how she looks at President Cooper. She's so snobby. I want to strip her naked." Jealous women were terrifying beings. Their words were mean and vicious. Yaru was happy to hear these mean things targeted at Melody. "Shut up," Yaru said in an icy tone. The girls immediately shut up. Then, Yaru stood up with a smile and walked towards Melody. "Melody, congratulations for making it to the next round," Yaru said with a smile. "Thank you." Melody's reaction was bleak, but Yaru was still thick-skinned enough to sit closely to her. "I live-streamed it today. You did great. You and Easton are a great combination. Oh, I saw that Easton confessed to you live. You two would make a great couple," Yaru continued saying with a smile. Melody knew that this woman next to her came with no good intentions. As expected, Yaru continued talking about her and Easton in front of Justin. Yaru was such a cunning batch. "Easton and I are work partners. Even if the media said it, people won't believe it," Melody said calmly. "But from what I see, Easton seems really into you. Why don't you consider it? As a friend, I think it'll be good for you. Easton is very popular. If you really were his girlfriend, your future would be bright." Melody put down her chopsticks and scoffed at Yaru. "First of all, I know what's between Easton and I. Second, Yaru, did you forget what I warned you about? We were never friends. My only friend at Imperial Star Entertainment is Rory. Please don't think of yourself so greatly. There's no gold stuck to your face. Third, if you want to speak with me next time, please don't pick it while I'm eating. After all, I don't want to lose my appetite." Melody's words were sharp and disrespectful to Yaru. Maybe some would say she was snappy, blunt, and unsociable. But if she was smooth and sociable, she was not Melody. After putting down Yaru, Melody stood up with her plates. She even ignored Anne and Justin. The only thing Yaru could do was stand up and run away with extreme embarrassment. Wow, she's spicy. Miss Melody is like a guy, and was impressed by how Melody didn't hold back at all in a fight, but would rarely start one on her one. Justin touched his nose and didn't comment. Instead, he continued to gouge down the mountain of food. In the afternoon, Justin attended a big conference meeting about the next season's plan, and awaited outside of the meeting room. He was incredibly bored, so he took out his phone and messaged Chloe. Anne, President Green, are you free? Chloe, yeah. Anne, President Green, if you have time, you should pay our President Cooper a visit. Chloe, why? Is he not feeling well? Anne, not that. He's just been having nightmares a lot lately. He wakes up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. His sleep quality is so poor now. I've worked for him for a few years now, but I've never seen him like this. Chloe, how long has it been? Anne, almost a week now. It's been like this for the past month. He keeps having dreams and wakes up from them. I think he's had 3 nightmares now. When he wakes up, he looks very sad. Chloe, what did he dream about? Anne, it's about you. Anne was hesitant when talking about Justin's nightmares. Chloe, about me? What is it, Anne? If you know, please tell me. Anne, President Cooper dreamt that you were hurt. Your body was all bloody. You were in a forest and he heard gun sounds. It sounded terrifying. You know how much you mean to him, and so I think he might be cursed. I want to get a priest, but he doesn't believe in these kinds of things. Chloe, is Justin under a lot of pressure lately? Chloe was rather concerned because an ordinary person would not have such frequent nightmares. Anne, not really. He's not that under pressure. It's been good. Chloe, where is he now? Anne, in a meeting. Chloe, okay. I'll talk to him after his meeting. Anne, President Green. Chloe, don't worry. I won't say you told me. Anne, thanks, President Green. Chloe wanted to chat with Justin and ask how he was. However, she never expected this meetup with Justin to not be able to happen due to an accident that would happen to him. It was an ordinary night just as usual. Justin couldn't really sleep that well, even though he had laid down early in bed to try to fall asleep. No matter how much he tossed and turned, he couldn't fall asleep. It might have been because of that dream he had so frequently lately. It must have traumatized him with sleep. He was scared that if his eyes shut, he would picture that dark forest again and see Chloe covered in blood. Justin was not able to sleep with such mental torture, so he got up and went to his study to look at the company's statements. He also opened a bottle of whiskey and drank as he worked. Just like that, he drank and worked for over 3 hours until 2 a.m. He slowly grew tired. He planned to shower and head to bed. When he was in the second-floor corridor, he thought he saw someone outside climbing the wall. At first, Justin thought he had drunk too much and was hallucinating. Very soon realized that someone was outside. He rubbed his eyes, and the white shadow was still there. Mother Lord, am I seeing ghosts? Justin cursed. He came from a family of soldiers, so he did not believe in ghosts. That was also the reason why when Anne wanted to get him an exorcist, but he refused. However, seeing a shadow outside was strange in the middle of the night. His area was a wealthy neighborhood, and the security systems were impeccable. There had been no robberies or theft ever before. Justin's mansion was in the center of the neighborhood. Under normal circumstances, only staff for the neighborhood could get in and no trespassers would make it. That was why Justin felt it was strange to see a shadow outside. He put on his coat and went out to see out of curiosity, leaving his phone behind. It was right outside Justin's house, and Justin was also confident about his physical abilities. He believed that without 10 people they wouldn't be able to control him, so he walked out. And heard footsteps, so he got off bed and opened the door with sleepy eyes. President Cooper, you're going out? What time is it? I'm going to get some fresh air. Justin did not tell Anne about the situation outside, so he responded in rather simple terms. Anne was thus not worried and went back to bed. After Justin got into the accident, Anne regretted going back to sleep. He should have gone with him. If he did, Justin most likely would not have been hurt. And did not understand that those people were after Justin. If he had gone out with Justin, he would have been killed. Not going out was like saving his life. When Justin went outside, it was dead silent. It was early winter, and it had not snowed that much yet in the north. The wind was piercing cold. Justin intended to just go out the front door to see who was playing ghost, but to his surprise, he did not find anything. Impossible, Justin said in shock. He had just seen the shadow upstairs, but now saw nothing. Why was nothing there when he came out? Even if that person found out someone was coming, she would not have been able to run away so quickly. Just when Justin wondered about where the white shadow went, he heard a loud noise from behind. "Are you looking for me?" Justin quickly turned around and saw she was behind him, but he did not sense anything. Such swift movements made him feel shivers along his back. Justin was very alert, but he played around like a fool. He now sensed complete danger. Under the dim light from the moon, Justin was able to slowly see who the person was. In shock, he exclaimed, "You... Justin, you didn't expect to see me again while you were still alive, eh?" The woman scoffed. Justin suddenly felt a sting from the back, and his eyes blacked out. He slowly lost consciousness. Done. A man in black had quietly approached Justin from behind. "Who told you to take action so quickly?" the woman said unhappily. She did not get her fun yet. "Mr. Y's orders. This neighborhood security system is pretty good. We can't take so long. The car is ready. Let's go." "Did you give him anesthetics?" "Yeah. It's enough for him to be unconscious for half a day. When he wakes up, he'll be in our territory." The man smirked proudly. "Good, good. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years." The woman smiled. "I never thought Justin would be so weak. It was so easy." "He was careless. Maybe he was too in shock to see me." The woman smiled. She walked over to Justin and kicked his unconscious body. She looked very contemptuous. The man and woman carried Justin and vanished into the dark. The next morning, Anne woke up. He didn't see Justin, so he thought Justin was still sleeping. Anne waited for Justin till 8 a.m. in the living, but he still didn't hear any noise from Justin. Anne felt that it was strange, as Justin rarely slept in. He would not sleep in till the sun shone on his butt, even if he were drunk. Gently, Anne walked towards Justin's bedroom and knocked on the door. "President Cooper, it's time to wake up." No reaction. "President Cooper, it's time. You have a morning meeting today." No reaction. And got the courage to barge in, even if it meant being yelled at by Justin. To his surprise, Justin's room was empty. His blankets were messy, not properly folded. Justin had definitely slept on the bed last night. "President Cooper!" Anne shouted, but he did not receive a response. Anne grew anxious. He started searching from the bottom floor to the top floor. He even searched the basement, garage, gym, and cinema. But Justin was nowhere to be found in this 900-square-meter mansion. Only then did Anne realize something was wrong. He didn't call Justin's phone because he saw Justin's phone was lying in Justin's bedroom. His boss did not take his cell phone with him. He looked through Justin's phone, including his Snap, but there were no suspicious records. Recalling what had happened last night, he vaguely recalled that Justin did say he was going out for some air, and immediately rushed out by car to the neighborhood security office and requested for the footage. The security guards here all knew Anne was Justin's assistant, so they obediently followed his orders. Anne watched the footage from last night attentively. He didn't even want to blink as he was afraid he'd miss something. Nothing happened outside Justin's mansion. Nothing. And you see it too. Nothing strange happened. We were patrolling 24/7. If something strange did happen, we would know. The footage didn't look like someone edited or erased a part of it. Suddenly, Anne's heart froze and he pointed at the footage and said, "No, this part doesn't look right." "What's wrong with it? It looks normal, just like usual," the lead security guard said. "President Cooper went outside last night. He said he wanted some fresh air, but your security footage did not capture that. This isn't normal. Someone must have done something to it." Anne's reactions were quick. He was able to find a bug in such a short time. "I don't quite understand what you mean." The security guards, on the other hand, were simple-minded, so they did not understand what Anne meant. "It's okay. I'll get a copy of this first and I'll go get help." Anne realized how serious the situation was, so he took out his USB and copied all the surveillance footage of Justin's mansion gate and rushed out of the security office. He drove directly to GK Corporation. Anne's first instinct was to find Chloe because not only was she smart, she was also Justin's good friend. When Anne arrived abruptly at the GK Corporation's headquarters, both Chloe and Jack were shocked. "President Dawson, President Green, our boss is in trouble," Anne said without catching his breath. He had run all the way. "What's the matter?" Chloe stood up with her pregnant body and put down the finance newspaper. After getting fired, she would go to work with Jack and leave work together with him. They were a lovey-dovey couple. Jack now had greater motivation for work. When Jack heard this news from Anne, he stood up and the look on his face had changed. "Anne, tell us again slowly." Jack's assistant Mark poured a cup of water for Anne, but Anne didn't have time to drink it. All Anne could feel now was his rapidly pounding heart. "Last night, Boss said he was going out to get some fresh air. I thought he wanted to take a walk because he hasn't been able to sleep that well lately. I didn't put much further thought into it, but now I regret it. If I went with him, it wouldn't turn out like this." Anne gritted his teeth and regretted his laziness. He should have gone with Justin. Then what happened to Justin? Chloe was anxious. She knew him well, and he wasn't the type that would spread rumors or say something that was not true. Anne was a calm man. He had been by Justin's side for many years. If this wasn't something serious, Anne would not run into the headquarters of the GK Corporation without caring about his appearance. He didn't even call or send a message. Chloe knew that something really serious was going on. Anne took a deep breath and said, "When I woke up this morning, Boss disappeared." "Disappeared? Did you call him?" Jack asked. "His phone is at home, not with him." "Where did he go?" Chloe asked. "I don't know where he went. I went to watch the surveillance footage. I watched it carefully a couple of times and realized a problem," Anne said, then taking out the USB. "Let me see." Jack took over the USB and plugged it into his laptop. Chloe quickly went over and stood behind Jack. The two carefully examined the footage. "Someone must have done something to the footage. Otherwise, it should have captured President Cooper stepping outside," Anne added. "Honey, let me try." Rarely did Chloe use her hacking skills, but that did not mean she didn't know how to hack. She sat on Jack's chair and typed rapidly on the keyboard. In only 3 minutes, she had deciphered the code. "So it's like this. The footage had been cut. This person is a very skilled hacker. If you didn't look carefully enough, you wouldn't be able to tell," Chloe said with concern after examination. "Do you have Justin's phone? Let me see." Jack called Justin's phone and looked at Anne from the side. "Yeah, it's here," Anne said and carefully handed over Justin's phone to Jack. "Honey, can you check if anything is strange with the phone?" Chloe nodded and took over Justin's phone. She connected it to the laptop. The screensaver that popped up made her feel rather awkward. If Justin was not in danger, no one had the right to touch his personal property. They never knew that Justin's screensaver was still Chloe's photo. It was taken a few years ago, so she looked younger in the photo. She was still a doctor at Southside and was in a white robe with black framed glasses. Her hair back then wasn't as long, but she was still very pretty. "Ahem." Anne walked up to the couple and coughed. Chloe immediately hid her embarrassment and checked the phone. When she finished, she unplugged it and said, "The phone is intact. There's no signs of suspicious contacts or messages being deleted." "That's strange. Justin's not the type that can be easily taken away. Did he have something to do suddenly today and went out on his own?" "That's impossible. President Cooper never leaves without telling me. Even if he left, the security footage should have captured it. The biggest problem here now is that President Cooper disappeared into thin air," Anne anxiously explained. "How can someone disappear into thin air? Someone must have done something." Chloe was calm. She could sense that this was not so simple. Jack frowned and analyzed. Someone that can take Justin away late at night must be someone very strong and powerful. "Yes, I agree. Otherwise, President Cooper wouldn't have been captured without counterattacking." "Did Justin get on the wrong side of anyone recently?" Jack asked Anne. "No, but there was once where President Cooper's car was altered to hurt him. Luckily, I caught it in time." "That means he has an arch nemesis." Jack raised a brow. "Honey, do you remember that car accident?" Chloe reminded. "Yeah, that time we couldn't find anything. Maybe it was the same group who altered his car and caused the car accident that took away Justin." "Who can it be?" Chloe sighed. "Let me call Noah first so he can investigate any suspicious cars and surveillance footage." Jack then took out his phone and called Noah, who was at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. On the other hand, Anne was gravely anxious. "President Green, is my boss in danger?" And was afraid Justin would be killed just like that. "No, Justin's a strong person," Chloe said as if she were almost convincing herself too. Those people are obviously trying to kill him. It's my fault. I should have followed him out last night. And deeply regretted his actions and beat his chest with his fists. It felt like it was all too late now. Chloe comforted Anne with complicated feelings. Don't think that way. Maybe he was trying to protect you. And Justin is as strong a fighter as you. If he could be captured so easily, maybe you going wouldn't make a difference. Don't blame yourself too much. President Green, I've always found you as the smartest person. President Cooper cares about you the most. You must think of a way to save him. And was now a complete mess. All he could do was put all his hopes on Chloe. Don't worry, I'll find Justin. Chloe was reserved in character and only joked with people close to her. Facing this crisis, she didn't weep in grief or bawl like a baby. She only told Anne simply, I will find Justin. It proved that actions were always more important than empty promises. Chloe would use her actions to fulfill her promise. Of course, Justin was as important to her as a family member. She remembered all the things they had gone through, and Justin's feelings for her, and all the things he had done for her in the past years. And you go back to the company and make some arrangements. Don't let the company fall apart at this moment. Chloe realized Justin's company was now headless. President Green, I'm just his bodyguard and assistant. You know I've never gotten involved in the business in the company. You're asking me to do something I can't accomplish. And found the task daunting. He didn't know business, only how to fight. Chloe sighed slightly. This is a big issue. Fine. Give me the number of the vice president of Imperial Star, and I'll make some arrangements. After that, I'll talk to Brenton and Max about the future plans. Okay. And pulled out the number from Justin's cell phone and handed it to Chloe. And you call him, because you're Justin's assistant, your words have weight. But I don't know what to say. Anne looked pained. I'll teach you. Okay. At Chloe's suggestion, Anne called the company's vice president, telling him that President Cooper was out of town for a few days to deal with an urgent business. The company was entrusted to the vice president to run, and the small projects would continue, but the big ones would pause. In fact, the company was at a stage that it didn't need its boss to make every decision. Like other big companies, it could be run by a few trusted and efficient executives. Chloe wasn't worried about the operation of Imperial Star, but she knew her arrangements were only effective for a short term. She didn't know when Justin would return. She was afraid that his life was in danger. What was the motive of those people for kidnapping Justin? For revenge or a huge ransom or other purposes? She knew nothing about it. After the call, Chloe looked at Anne's anxious face and said, You haven't eaten yet, right? Anne shook his head tiredly. Then a growl came from his stomach and his honest face reddened. Mark. Yes, madam? Mark entered immediately. Take Anne to the cafeteria to have breakfast. President Green, I'm not hungry. I have no appetite. Anne was anxious, feeling as if the sky had fallen with Justin kidnapped. Only with food in your belly can you have the strength to find Justin. We can't collapse before that. Chloe was eloquent and persuaded Anne to have breakfast with a few words. Jack ended his call with Noah. How did it go, honey? Noah did some investigation, but... No clues? Chloe guessed. No, not a clue. These people are very good. They must have planned his kidnapping for a long time. Jack felt bad when he heard Noah's disappointing report. Justin, his rival in love, had become a special friend of his. Honey, what shall we do now? Should we tell Aunt Cooper? Chloe was a bit panicked and didn't know what to do. We can't keep this big issue from them. You call Grandpa Cooper and the others and tell them about it. I think Grandpa Cooper will be devastated. Chloe could imagine how the old man would feel when he heard his beloved grandson was kidnapped. Let me do it. Don't. I'll do it. Chloe knew she was a better candidate to do it since she had lived in the Cooper family's house for more than 1 year and was familiar with all the members of the family. You call Max, Brenton, and Victoria to come here. We'll discuss what to do. Okay. Jack nodded and they split up to act separately. Grandpa Cooper was in Capital City when he heard the news. Immediately, he flew back with Justin's father in a private plane. Justin's mother went directly to GK from Southside with a pale face. Max, Avery, Brenton, and Victoria came half an hour later. Hearing that Justin had disappeared, they all put down the work they were doing and came to GK's headquarters. The atmosphere was heavy in the president's office. Mrs. Cooper was wiping her tears with a tissue. "Chloe, is my Cooper in danger? I'm so afraid. If something happens to him, I can't live. I can't see my son go before me." Mrs. Cooper's weeping was heartbreaking and saddened the others in the room. "Auntie, Mr. Cooper will be fine. He's a fortunate guy," Brenton soothed her. "Yeah. Aunt, have you forgotten the words of the blind old man who told our fortunes when we were kids? He said Mr. Cooper is blessed with great fortune, and he'd have his own children." Max dug out an ancient story to comfort her. "Aunt, please don't cry. Let's talk about what to do." Chloe placed her hand on the back of Mrs. Cooper's hand. Noah was the last to arrive. He had a pile of files in his hands. "Got any news?" Seeing Noah, Chloe immediately stood up. "This is all the information I could find." Noah put down the papers with a pale face. Chloe picked them up and was disappointed when she saw the content. "There's nothing new?" "Yeah. We can't find any clues. These people are very good. They must be a high-level gang with hackers who hacked into the surveillance system without leaving a trace. They must have good close combat specialists, too, so they could kidnap Justin and take him away. But we can't rule out the possibility that it was done by one of his friends," Noah analyzed. Chloe stood up slowly. "I agree. They might have several good fighters, so they could kidnap Justin with such ease, but many people would have been difficult to hide. It leaves us with another possibility, which is that Justin knows one of them and lowered his guard." "I don't think it's possible. We're Justin's friends, and no one else has the ability to kidnap him." "How about Case and Kira?" The words came from Victoria. "It couldn't be Case." The reply came from Brenton. "Ever since he remarried my Zuri, he's been deeply grateful to Mr. Cooper. Besides, he left with Zuri yesterday morning to cut ribbons for the new company in Gang City. He hasn't returned yet, so he couldn't have done it." To their surprise, Brenton, who disliked Case the most, defended Case. "I checked Kira's whereabouts. She's in the States and has no motive or abilities to do it," Jack said. "What else? Is it possible that he was kidnapped by special agents? Is it about some national secrets?" Max's imagination went out of control. "Auntie, you must pay attention to incoming calls. If the kidnappers wanted ransom, I think they'd contact you." Jack glanced at Mrs. Cooper, who was sitting on the sofa with a pale face. Mrs. Cooper nodded listlessly. Finally, they ended the meeting in low spirits, feeling gloomy because of Justin's disappearance. Like Chloe, Justin was the center of the circle of friends, and they were all depressed. When they walked out, Avery said wonderingly, "Max, even someone as badass as Mr. Cooper was kidnapped. If they targeted me, I'd have died hundreds of times by now." Pooh, don't jinx yourself." Max rubbed Avery's cheeks with a lump in his throat. "Ha ha, I was joking. Don't be so nervous. Don't ever joke about it again or you'll do what?" Avery raised her face challengingly. She knew Max loved her very much and didn't even dare to raise his voice with her. "Or I'll spank you with a wooden board with long nails. I won't stop until your butt bleeds," Max threatened. "Okay, Mr. Cruz, stop bluffing. You're only saying it." Avery held Max's arm and walked out of the company. Avery had established a marine biotech company specializing in women's skincare products. Since it was new, she put it under Max's company so they could go to work together, just like Chloe and Jack did. Ever since she came from abroad, Avery had been glowing. Besides her work, she had made many new friends and was active in the circle of the upper class. During the weekend, she even drove the twins in her luxurious car worth $10 million to have meals. She had totally forgotten about her dad in the States. Fortunately, her father didn't mind it. After Justin disappeared, everyone tried to search for him with their own methods. Brenton and Max even contacted the gang leaders in different provinces. They hadn't had any dealings with the latter for many years. But 3 days passed, and no one had any news about Justin. Fortunately, his company was operating as usual. Grandpa Cooper ordered them to keep Justin's disappearance a secret to avoid gossip from the media and panic among employees. Anne had had little sleep over the past 3 days in the empty house, as Justin's face flashed in his mind constantly. As Justin's bodyguard, Anne felt devastated that he had lost his boss. But the Cooper family didn't say a word to blame him. After Justin's grandpa and father raced back from Capital City, they had only met Jack and Chloe in secret. The elder was devastated, and Chloe felt a lump in her throat as she watched him leave. Melody had been practicing her dance in an enclosure and didn't know about Justin's disappearance. She hadn't contacted Justin for 3 days. At first, she restrained herself from sending him messages to keep her self-esteem, afraid she'd disturb him. But later she couldn't control herself and sent him a message but didn't receive a reply. Finally, she asked her assistant, "Lately, have you seen President Cooper in the company?" "No. Now that you mention it, I haven't seen President Cooper in recent days," her young assistant said. "Has anyone seen him at the company?" "I don't know. Maybe you can ask them." Melody shook her head. During the break of her practice, she sat by the wall and took out her cell phone, sending him another message. "President Cooper, I feel pressured with my dance practice. Maybe I can take you out for a ride in my Bugatti Veyron?" 5 minutes passed and she received no reply. Melody was a little disappointed. She didn't know that Justin's cell phone was now in Chloe's hands. She had kept it since An brought it to her. Chloe respected other people's privacy, so she had transferred Justin's incoming calls to the voice message box. She hadn't replied to any of the messages his cell phone received. When Melody's message came, Chloe was staring blankly at Justin's cell phone and saw this message. She had the urge to tell Melody that Justin had disappeared, but she remembered Grandpa Cooper's order and controlled her urge. Justin was a member of the Cooper family, so Grandpa didn't know if his disappearance was due to personal grudges or secrets of the army. He wanted to search for his grandson in secret. But despite his great power, Grandpa Cooper still didn't find any clues in the past 3 days. Justin didn't carry a tracker, so it was impossible to locate him. Besides, they knew the kidnappers might have a skilled hacker with them. After all, they could delete the surveillance clip perfectly and had strong anti-tracking abilities. As Jack went to the conference room to have a meeting, Chloe sat in the office, lost in thoughts. "Madame, please eat some food. You've eaten little lately." Mark didn't know what had happened, but could see the president and his wife were worried. When he brought Chloe warm milk, she'd have 1 sip or not touch it at all. When the cafeteria delivered lunch to her, she ate only a little. "I'm fine. Go back to your work." At this moment, Chloe's cell phone rang. It was a video chat request. "Mommy." Little Bean's chubby little face looked very cute on the screen. "Little Bean, are you having your lunch break?" I did well today. I ate 2 bowls of rice." "Wow, you did great. How about your sister?" "She was picky and picked out all the carrots and cabbage from her dish. She only ate meat." "You two must remember what I told you. Have balanced meals." I know. Handsome Cooper said if we eat our meals properly, he'd take us to the Disneyland in Tokyo at the end of the month." "When did he say that?" Chloe's heart lurched. "Last week when I video chatted with him. I said my sister and I wanted to go to Disneyland, but we didn't want to go to the States due to the long distance and security reasons. Handsome Cooper said he'd have a meeting in Tokyo at the end of the month and he could take us with him. He even promised he'd convince you to let us go." Chloe was silent, feeling sadder after hearing the words. "Mom, did Handsome Cooper tell you about it? Did you give your approval? My sister and I will behave ourselves. My sister is rich and we won't spend Handsome Cooper's money. I can promise you I won't have desserts for 1 month, okay?" Little Bean wanted to know if Justin had talked about their trip to Japan with their mom. The world of the kids was simple, and they knew nothing but food and fun. Despite their high IQ, the twins were still innocent kids. They didn't know that Justin had been kidnapped. "Justin told me that." Chloe got emotional and choked when she said the words. "Did you agree for us to go?" Little Bean asked cautiously. Obviously, she was afraid of her mom. "Yeah. After your Uncle Cooper returns from his business trip, I'll let him take you to Tokyo." Chloe tried her best to control her emotions before her child. "Oh yeah, excellent, Mommy, I love you. Haha. I'll tell Handsome Cooper this good news." Little Bean danced happily. Little Bean's words made Chloe feel sadder. "Little Bean, don't video chat or call your Uncle Cooper for a few days." "Why not?" Little Bean was puzzled. Cocking her little head, she looked at her mommy in the complaint. "Uncle Cooper is on a business trip and is very busy. He doesn't have time to chat with you. Huh? He didn't tell me that. You're a kid, and your Uncle Cooper can't tell you everything. Anyway, you kids should keep out of our adult business and concentrate on your school. Okay, Mommy, you must keep your word. When Handsome Cooper comes back, you'll let him take us to Japan. Yeah, I'll agree to let you go, so long as he comes back. Chloe almost choked on her words. Before Little Bean could say goodbye, she ended the video chat in agitation. Outside the office, Jack came back from the meeting and was worried when he saw Chloe's agitation through the window. She didn't eat anything? Jack asked his assistant Mark. No, she didn't even drink the warm milk. Okay, I got it. President Dawson, what's wrong with her? I've never seen her so agitated. Even Mark could see Chloe wasn't herself in the last couple of days. She's fine. Give it to me. Jack took the heated milk from Mark and walked into the office. You can't go on without food. At least the baby needs to eat. Jack placed the milk on the tea table before Chloe carefully. Hearing her husband's voice, Chloe snapped back to reality. Hun, I'm truly not hungry. It's not for you, it's for the baby. At her husband's persuasion, she picked up the glass and began to drink the milk slowly. They didn't talk much because Jack knew Chloe was smart and didn't need him to reason with her. If she couldn't get the problem out of her mind, no one could say anything to dissuade her. In fact, Chloe couldn't calm down, since they still couldn't find any information about Justin's whereabouts, and they didn't know if he was alive or not. Jack was also in low spirits, and hoped this was a simple kidnapping in which Justin pretended to submit to his kidnappers and would come back safe with his wits and courage. At the school, Little Bean was puzzled after ending the video chat. Sis, don't you think Mommy sounded a bit weird? When Little Bean talked to their mommy on video, Pudding sat close to her and heard the whole conversation, even though she didn't show her face. Yeah, a little bit. You noticed it too? Little Bean leaned over toward Pudding and looked at her. Mommy's voice was a bit different, and she didn't sound happy. I wonder if she had an argument with Daddy, Pudding guessed. That's impossible. All the people in the world know Daddy would never bear to upset Mommy. How can he argue with her? I think maybe she got emotional since our younger brother is about to be born. What's its name? Prenatal hypomania. Puh, that's bullshit. I heard about prenatal depression, but not prenatal hypomania. Pudding was most impressed by her sister's ability of making up stories and names. Unsuspecting people would be easily fooled by her. Of course, Ethan was her biggest victim. Anyway, I feel Mommy is acting weirdly. We'd better not mess with her for now, Little Bean mumbled. I'll go to Auntie Zuri's home after school. Will you come with me? You have an appointment with Kenneth, right? You're going to his auntie's home. I have no business there. I won't go with you. Little Bean left with an arrogant turn of her head. Resigned, Pudding shook her head. She picked up her cell phone and sent a message to Justin. Handsome Cooper, Mommy said you're on a business trip. Come back as soon as you can. Little Bean and I miss you. Thanks for tuning in to the Cool Audio Podcast. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow story lover. Until next time, stay cool and keep listening.